All right, episode 4, man. Episode 4.
Can you believe it? This is the
Haven't
fourth
missed one
week.
yet.
We haven't missed one. This is the
You
fourth
tried
week we've done this.
you tried to reschedule on me last week though,
Well, it
didn't
was
you?
the long weekend. I was just saying, hey, maybe the folks are off doing stuff, doing their physical social distance hikes, whatever they're doing. And I just thought, well, but we had a good turnout last week. So
Yeah,
look at that. James is right.
you're gonna have to probably I have energy, but I feel like you're gonna need to carry me a little bit today. I was outside in the sun and it just takes so much energy. It takes so much out of you, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, I was outside
I was
too.
gardening like you did last
Look at look at my
week.
tan. I got a tan going on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Look at
So,
you, eh? And those
yeah.
glasses
Well,
and the
listen,
whole
I wear sunscreen religiously now because one time when I think it was 20 years old.
let's get into that in a bit. Let's get into that in a bit.
Oh, I know, but let's just tell right now. We'll get to your other stuff. I was just gonna say it's gonna be short. One
Well,
time
because I was going to ask, okay, let's do it now though. Okay, so you're painting at home, right? Like you were painting this week.
Yeah. So Alex and I painted the garage.
Yes.
And it looks good. We're really happy with it. It's finished, just finished. We also painted the back sort of addition on the house, and we're probably going to stain the deck next weekend and do a little bit of repair work there. But I wore sunscreen because when I was 20 years old, growing up, I was always like, Mom, you're overreacting. Our mom's a nurse practitioner, right? Mom, you're overreacting. Also, I do have paint. Look on my arm still. I still have to peel.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get off. Anyway, I remember saying to Mom all my teen years, Mom, you're a nurse practitioner. You overreacting. Sunscreen, big deal, whatever. And one time I painted, I think it was a barn or a shed, a lean-to for the horses out at the farm. All day in July with my shirt off, no sunscreen. Idiot move. Total idiot move. And I got burnt really bad. And I thought, okay, well, it'll be a little bit of pain. People go through this. But 2 days later, it was the itch under my skin that I couldn't scratch because of the pain that was absolutely mind-bending. It was crazy. Oh. I remember literally running through the house downtown when we lived there, James. I don't think you were there. Screaming alone to myself to try and console myself. And I called my mother in tears. I admit that, in tears, saying, you were right. Never again. I always wear sunscreen. But I think
like you couldn't sleep, right?
No, I couldn't sleep. Terrible.
Oh my gosh.
So let that be a lesson to everybody. Do not try it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But we got it.
I'm glad you have your mic this week, Johnny. I can hear you very well.
Oh, nice. You like that? You
I'm
like
appreciative.
That I remembered
yes.
my mic this week?
Especially when we were watching videos. I wanted like you to chime in and because you were listening to it, and your voice wasn't cutting through to your mic on your computer. Nice. So right, I felt like I was alone.
Great. Real downer.
So that's good. But again, yeah, no, I was out there. I was trying to do some actually gardening with Kyla and my future mother-in-law and the father-in-law. They dropped by to lend a hand, and they really helped out. But when I was out there, I'm like, if I don't take a nap, which I didn't, I'm gonna definitely be lagging for today. So, but we're here, and this is what happens, this is why we do it at this time, because otherwise and it's live, so you can't push it. Anyways, but it's really getting nice. Yeah, exactly. Well, I also have this purple drink here as well.
What on earth is that?
We're not sponsored by the drink company,
so you can't mention it.
No, but it's an energy drink. It's not
it's a purple. It looks like
not
Mace
anything
Windu's lightsaber. It's as purple as Mace Windu's lightsaber. You're welcome, Star Wars fans.
It's an energy drink that I won't say the name of because keep me going here.
I don't know the purple ones. I think Red Bull is green from what I remember. I don't really drink them very much.
It's one of those. It's not red. I'm not going to say, but
I'm sort of wound up most of the time. Like I'm not
an
energy drink guy. I do the coffee thing here and there, but
I don't do it often.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's getting nice out there though, eh? Getting nice outside.
Is that we're going to talk about the weather? That's the next stage. Is that where we're headed? It is.
No, I'm just saying it's people are finally
Have
getting
we run out of
and
things to
they're-
say, James? Have we run out of things to say?
John, it was so where we are is it was so bad for so long, and
Yeah,
now we're actually able to get outside. And
Yeah.
people, you've seen it, John. I mean, we've been, going for drives here and there, and it is bumping out there.
You
And
know,
you can tell that it is summertime when
is.
in Canada the lines for the Dairy Queen is
Oh my
like
goodness.
back around the block, right?
Done. Gone. There's no getting into Dairy Queen with like.
It takes an hour. It takes like an hour.
I mean, you need a fast pass like Disneyland to get into Dairy Queen these days. That's what they should do at Dairy Queen right now.
Fast pass.
Give us a fast pass. So we call ahead, we pay a premium, whatever it is, just so we can skip the line, because I'm not waiting. I mean, maybe I'm waiting 30 minutes for a banana shake, but I don't think I'm waiting an hour. Let's be honest. I mean, I do love Dairy Queen, but I think anything beyond 30 minutes and I'm pushing my patience level on the Dairy Queen front.
Absolutely.
But you're right, James.
But it's a signal. Nice. It's a signal for the start of the summer, and people are out and about just going. I mean, in where we're from. Well, fortunately, the health in this area has been pretty good, so I feel like people are really itching to get out and start doing stuff. And when I went to the garden center to get some stuff for the garden, and I actually, I'll get into that a little later, but I actually know what went into my garden, John. Whereas last week you seemed not to know really what was being put in. Remember, I asked.
No, I don't know that I still know what flowers are still in the garden. I didn't even do my research this week on what flowers. I just know we're gonna do vegetables. But tell me about your garden, James.
Well, I'll get into it, but okay. We need to clean up some things from last week.
Your garden first, though? Did your garden survive the blizzard? Because this is on the topic of the weather. We had a blizzard 3 times 2 weeks ago, and this week it's like full blown summer. We didn't even have a spring.
Well, that's why I was behind on it anyway, so it worked out perfect for me.
All right, well, we'll get to that. Well, let's clean up some stuff from last week.
How does your garden? Is it alive?
Well, yeah, the flower garden is.
You just did it last. Okay, good.
Yeah, we have dirt in the vegetable garden, which doesn't have vegetables in it yet, but we've got dirt in there.
Well, that's good.
I had to haul in.
So we both slacked on the. I mean, I guess was it this weekend that people normally put stuff in? Is it the May long weekend, like this past weekend?
Yeah.
Or no, the one last. I think it is. That's when people start.
I'm a total noob. With this. All I know is I drove and I will touch upon this in a bit, but I had a dump truck, and there's a reason for that. And I drove the dirt in here, had a couple friends who helped us, which was nice. But for a good chunk of the time, Alex and I had to shovel, like with regular spade shovels. I think it was about 6 yards, 5.5 yards of sand into a dump truck by hand. And it was a mean task, but we got it cleaned out, put the dirt in by hand, and we've got what's ready to be a vegetable garden. But
that's fantastic.
We're on.
Let's get caught up with the chat.
We're going off road.
Let's get caught up with the chat. This is the way it goes, though, John. Let's get caught up here.
Let's do it.
We have folks, Akeem and Eliza, saying hello and saying that they hope that we had a good weekend. I responded to them in the chat, and then Frederica is saying good evening. So it's evening for her, and she says love the video for Big Church Day In.
Nice.
And then that goes along with Linda Robs here again, which is awesome. And she said thank you for recommending the Big Church tent concert. Really enjoyed listening to it. A good choice of song you did. Sounds good to me. So I appreciate that. That's right, Linda. And we're glad we didn't play Mermaid Town. No, I'm just joking. Frederica also said favorite thing about Big Church Day Out. What's your favorite thing, John?
I know it's just such a general thing to say, but the people are there. I mean, like there's something special about the people at that event, and I can't put it any other way. There's a sense of joy at that festival that is just absolutely unbridled, and I can't believe the lineups I mean, the wonderful thing is we've been there, I don't know what, 4 or 5 times now, played multiple days and weekends. I mean, we have to be so familiar to these people as to be almost family, some of them. And yet they line up every time we play there after the show just to say hello and to connect with us. And you know what? That's so wonderful. I mean, that you're not sick of us. I think that's a nice thing. So that's the big thing for me is the people at those festivals. It's just, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, I guess that goes along with what you were saying, but the way that people really appreciate live music at that festival and the way that they clap along and sing it's second to none. The way that they interact with the artists on stage, and so it makes the artists really feed off that energy, and I think it just overall makes the experience so much better for everyone. And so that would probably be the energy that the audience has, and the love for live music would be and I mean, obviously the scenery there is insane. So
oh yeah, but it is energizing, right, James? I mean, like when you have people,
it's just so much fun. It makes it so much fun. Like
when you have people in the crowd singing lyrics with you and like cheering and screaming after little solos and stuff like that, it completely, it puts us in the best headspace possible for what we do. So and they're great at that over there. I have to fix my make sure I fix my little stand here.
So circling back on the ice cream comment, Aliza responded, "Oh yeah, was going to get ice cream yesterday and just came home after we saw the lineup." So Aliza knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, also the lineups
in Canada, it's a mess at Dairy Queen.
Lineups are like double or triple the length too, because everybody's 6 feet apart.
It's dangerous though. It's like blocking roads and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the places I've seen, it actually is blocking lanes of roads in Kingston.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing, and people are excited about it. I know I am.
I've tried both blizzards. I've tried both blizzards. Sorry, this is what I'm talking about. It's the sunstroke. I tried the regular Reese's Blizzard because I like Reese's, and then I got there's a Royal Reese's, and it has like they take just a massive like spoon of peanut butter and just throw it in.
That's what makes it royal.
I guess.
More peanut butter.
Yeah, extra peanut butter. And so
nice.
Linda Robb responded, "Me too." She was glad that we didn't play that. And and Frederica couldn't agree more with your comments. I'm assuming, John, because it came in around that. And then I definitely missed an after hours party last night. Oh yeah, it would have been last night, right, John?
I'm fixing this because I'm the tech like awful with the tech between the two of us. Look at this, and it's not even tech. It's a music stand. I've got this computer on, and it keeps tilting back. How's that? Look at that framing. Isn't that wonderful? I don't want to lose it. Sorry, James. What was your question?
Unity. The big church day out would have been this weekend, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's usually
So Frederica said I definitely missed an after hours party last night.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean,
I did.
Fairness, I wouldn't have been there this year anyway because we weren't on the schedule.
Yeah, but she would have had an after hours party.
Yeah. Oh yeah, any of the after hours parties.
Because phenomenal. Unity Wolves says, "Yo James, what's up, my guy?" So nice. That's a friend of mine, and I keep moving my hair like this, John, because it's just getting out of control. Like not being able to go in and get a haircut.
Yeah.
I mean, you've just given up, but
no, yeah, I've just completely given up. I'm rocking the man bun today, whether you like it or not, James. I'm doing it, and
it's so I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I just gonna shave it off or if I should just wait it out and see if they open up again.
Because you kind of get a fro going though, right? When you really grow yours out, yours is quite thick and curly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember James. I remember your fro days, like when James had the, that was the big deal in like the 2000s high school era, right?
Yeah, it was big in what, the 70s, and then it
kind of circled around because everything's 80s now, right? Everything's 80s in this decade. Everybody's big on like 80s flashback and throwback and the way people are dressed.
That's true.
But then I think there was like a lot of 70s throwback the last decade. So I feel like it's like, 30 always in 30-year cycles. That's my theory.
Okay. So that doesn't help me with my hair situation, but
Why don't you cross that bridge when the time comes?
Let's clean up what we missed last
Let's
week.
do
So
it.
can you give an update? We have two things. Can you give an update on the Lambo Kid? We were going to mention that last week, and I thought that we should finish that.
Lambo Kid. So 2 weeks ago, we were talking about this kid who ended up getting into a bit of an argument with his mom, and he was 5 years old. Somehow grabs the keys to the family car and gets in it and starts driving down the freeway in attempt to get to California, so he can go visit, I think, his sister and buy a Lamborghini. He had $3 in his wallet. 5 years old. Police officer pulls him over. Really good guy, and totally diffuses the whole situation and just was very nice with this kid. And thankfully, the kid is safe and everything's okay. But his family, unfortunately, I mean, this is the reality of social media that we live in now. There's a great side to it, and there's not a not so great side to it. They got a lot of people, really just hating on them online about their parenting or, any number of things. I mean, like kids can get into crazy stuff, even if you're pretty attentive. And, you do your best as parents. I don't have children of my own, but I have very close friends who have kids, and I see them really working hard. I imagine that's the case here. Don't know, but that's my take. In any event, I don't think it was fair. And neither did this guy who owned a Lamborghini not too far from where they lived. So he drove it to the family's house, knocks on the door. The kid is completely elated by the whole thing. He takes him for a ride in a Lamborghini. And so the kid gets to partially live out his dream. I think that's awesome. And then at the end, he goes, well, I'm glad you had fun, buddy. And the little guy goes, can I buy your Lamborghini? Here's the $3. So bad things come good things. I think this guy saw the kind of negative attention that these parents were getting on social media. And he thought, you know what? I think this kid deserves a ride. So I love to see
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's really, really good. No, it's one of those stories where obviously it's very serious on the one hand, but the other hand, it's just so like it's such a cute story, and really, it's funny in another way, just the way that the kid thought, he was going to be able to buy the car with $3, and
like
the fact that he had the confidence to do that. I mean, there's parts of it, but it's kind of also, so it's just kind of I was careful. I remember when we were reading through it the other week, because I didn't want to laugh, but it does have a humorous element to it for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's humor, like laughing with the situation more than at it, because
this kid and nobody got hurt, so it's all good.
Ambitious, and he's just like, you know what?
Good for him.
5 years old, I'm taking my life into my own hands. I mean, how many 5-year-olds do you know go, yeah, you know what? Mom, you're not driving me to California to buy a Lambo. I'm doing it myself.
That's crazy.
Sayonara.
It really is, because I'm just trying to think of the things that I was doing at 5, and I basically was just trying to make you mad. That was all I was doing.
Pretty much.
I was lying about my age and saying that we had movies at home that we didn't.
Exactly.
And,
we'll
find those videos eventually.
We have to, but I will never forget. For
we went digging, didn't we? We went digging, and that's why last week, like, I'm glad that we were able to get that. But our mom gave us huge bags of these DVDs with she took a crazy amount of home videos. And I honestly, maybe she's watching, but I feel like I feel bad because when we went looking for these DVDs, you and I both could only find one each.
Yeah, no. I have them. Bad. I have them. All of them are in the storage locker.
Okay.
In a sealed container. Okay. That's where they're being kept. Okay, so they just weren't at my house, and we're getting the DVDs so we can burn them. And sure enough, she's probably going to text us here in 5 minutes. James, stirring the pot.
We'll
That's
hear about this.
It's younger brother. You've always been good at the stir in the pot. I mean, talk about James is talking, but for everybody here, we want to let you in on something. James, when he was younger, he used to just get me going all the time. I mean, that's an age-old thing with younger siblings and older siblings. But specifically the movies we didn't have comment you just made there, James. We were pretty young when Pocahontas came out, and it was in theaters. I'm telling you, this movie was in theaters when we're driving in the car, and I think we just gone to see it or something a week prior. We're driving in the car with our parents, and James turns to me point blank and looks at me and says, "Hey, John, let's watch Pocahontas when we get home." And I go, "Oh, man, we don't have Pocahontas. We just saw it in the theaters." He said, yeah, we do. I saw it in the drawer yesterday. James, I think you're 5. I actually think you were 5 when you said this.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
James,
saying. I wasn't
I'm
thinking
getting all
of getting in the
whipped
car
up
and driving to
James,
California.
Get the record straight. We just saw it in theaters, which means it doesn't come out for whatever. And no. I saw it there. We have it. And you stuck to your guns, drove me off the wall, and you do it still. It's great.
Let's see what's going on in the chat here. We got Frederica saying, usually is this past weekend, the big church day out. She said, you would have brought in my birthday the best way possible again. That's so nice.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, weren't you?"
I think she thinks
with
that
respect
we were
to playing this year. Linda says, "Why not have Kyla cut it for you?"
Yep.
I could. You get just a buzz and just.
I cut your hair once. If anybody goes back,
we should find that picture.
Well, it's that picture. It's the Northern Redemption music video on our YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
I gave you that haircut. It's a buzz.
No, I know, but we have a picture of a mullet, a mid-cut mullet.
I definitely have that somewhere.
Yeah, mid-cut mullet. I looked like Tiger King. We got Riley Hoffman saying, "What's up, James?" Another friend.
Nice.
So right on. There's him and Wolves are in here. So the other thing we need to clean up from last week,
right,
is we talked about a video. I had my cowboy hat, which is right here. I still got it.
Yeah.
And
nice.
We have a video of when we were given those, and we talked about the story of what happened, and we have the evidence of how badly it was particularly me. I messed up the oath really poorly. So I'm going to try to bring this up.
Let's watch it and I'll comment.
Okay. Get the sound going. All right, you can see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Here we go. Of how badly it was particularly me. I messed up. One sec. I did this again from last week. I'm not going to do the same mistake. We got the stream going, and I had the audio of that.
Oh, right. You had the audio playing. We're hearing ourselves back.
It is truly my honor, on behalf of the city of Calgary and the Calgary Stampede, to present our guests, the Abrams, with our Calgary white hats, making the band honorary citizens of our fine city. Yeah!
Look at the trucks in the background too. That was one of the coolest sets.
So cool.
Welcome, boys.
I thought we were just gonna get the hats and go.
Now, aside from looking fantastic in the white Smith belts, we also have our honorary Calgary Cowboy oath to make this official.
I look great in that hat.
So I will read aloud and ask you, gentlemen, to kindly repeat after me.
Sounds good.
Here we go. We the Abrams.
Wait, what did you say?
We the Abrams.
We the Abrams.
Great start.
We the Abrams. Well,
we're
not off to a good start here.
Here we go. Having pleasured ourselves.
Having pleasured ourselves.
In the only genuine cow town in Canada.
The only genuine cow town in Canada.
Everybody's laughing at us.
Here we go. Namely, Calgary, Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta.
And having been duly exposed.
Having been duly exposed. Wow, these are long words.
There we go.
Wow.
To exceptional amounts. Of heartwarming.
Whoa,
Handshaking.
whoa. What'd you say, exceptional?
What was I said exceptional. Oh yeah, but James, you just bail. You just bail on the whole oath. I think I keep playing it.
Okay.
Foot stomping. Down home. Country style. Western spirit. We do promise.
To
share this here brand. of Western hospitality.
Of Western hospitality.
With all folks and critters
With all folks and critters
who cross our path.
who cross our path.
I need Stampede City Sessions to help celebrate this honor with a hearty Calgary Stampede Yahoo! On 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Welcome to Calgary, the
Okay.
Abrams.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh my
Exceptional.
gosh.
I said exceptional. You say Westward, and you actually just bail on 3 lines of oath, man. So I mean,
I'm not a Calgarian.
No, you need like I think I actually make the cut. Like I probably am an honorary Calgarian, having completed and fulfilled stating the oath. I think you completely didn't make the mark, man. Like you get three whole lines, you're gone.
It was worse than I remember.
It totally was. Okay.
So anyways, I thought that we should, because we have a friend of ours that he actually sent it, like it's right when we were talking about it last week, and I didn't check my messages, and his timing was perfect. I should have looked, but
Well, we watched it now.
so I wanted to bring
time.
it up this week.
We had
because
enough
it's just
time
such
this
a
week, which
mess.
is good. Oh my goodness.
So we got Nico in the chat. He's dropped by and
Nice.
he's saying, hey, right on,
Right
Nico.
on.
Hope you're doing well, buddy.
I finished.
Okay, so we've cleaned
I
up
finished my water here. This is I should mention, this is a House of Mercy, the Snake Pit, a House of Mercy mug. On the topic of the UK, which is usually this weekend when we tour in the UK. A good pal of ours, House of Mercy Radio, Barry, who passed away a couple of years ago. This is a mug from his radio station, and his radio station was the coolest thing, wasn't it, James? It was in his backyard in a shed.
Oh yeah.
In London, England. And
I think he was one of those guys that when we got to see his place, it was kind of like, because we used to do radio, kind of fake radio shows when we were kids, but he's one of those guys that when you see his setup and how much fun he was having with broadcasting music and doing a show and stuff, he was one of those guys that made you really realize how fun it could be to put on a show and have a broadcast,
Absolutely. I think he's one of those guys who, like us when we were younger and we wanted to do radio broadcasts, he just grew up and did it. And he just did it in his house, kind of like we were, but then made it an official thing. And he had a great studio. He was in his backyard in a little shed, but it was quite a good setup. And it was a well-followed program in England. And he's actually one of the first people to ever take a chance on us and put us on the air overseas, before we had BBC people bringing us on and different people interviewing us. Barry was one of the first, and so we want to give a shout out to you, Barry. We know you're up there looking down at us, and we want to thank you, buddy, for all your support, not just of us but all kinds of other folk and country and alternative country acts from all over the United States and Canada. You've been a huge support in helping them get on the airways over there. So you're well remembered, buddy.
Absolutely. Well, that was good. You just happened to grab that mug today, eh?
Yeah. Well, I've had it tucked away up in the shelf, and I saw it there behind a couple of the mugs that I usually use, and I thought, you know what, this would be a nice.
Yeah,
mug.
it definitely ties into this weekend and us, typically being overseas, and so that's great. So let's get caught up on how our weeks are. I mean, I haven't really seen you. Maybe I saw you a couple times last week. I can't recall. Our interactions were obviously forgettable, but no, you had an interesting week, right? With you were driving for some family friends of yours, or some friends of yours that have a family business. Sorry.
Absolutely. So the Pike family in Kingston are really good friends of ours. They're some of our best friends, and
because before you keep going here, sorry to cut you off, but we have, if people aren't aware, we have our bus licenses to drive our tour bus, and so you have a license to drive dump trucks and all kinds of stuff because of the way that the licensing occurs in Ontario. Anything that's underneath that grade of license, you can drive, right?
Exactly. Like James and I have our commercial bus driver's licenses, which means we could actually technically drive for Greyhound or any of those buses that carry a lot of passengers. I mean, it's a little bit over what we need for our own tour bus, but it's, it covers the commercial aspect of sort of what we do. But then anything underneath the C, it's the C license. The D license is typically dump trucks and straight trucks like that. So, I mean, it covers that because anything C down, D, E, F, whatever, G, we're covered for. So it's nice because, and that is why I had this dump truck the other night to bring some dirt out for our vegetable garden. Because that was actually my first day on the job. James and I obviously aren't able to tour throughout this whole summer. We've talked about that in the past couple episodes of the podcast. So we're doing some other things to keep ourselves busy other than writing and doing all that sort of thing. We love to try and connect with our community and do what we can. So this is one example.
Well, they had a spot that, to get a driver filled in there, right? That first day, and then you kind of stayed on for a couple of days.
Yeah, well, and that's the most important thing is their business is booming, which is awesome. They're a phenomenal landscape
time of year for that
business. They're a phenomenal landscape business here in town. They've got the soil and mulch and gravel and that sort of thing, and they're also dear friends of ours. And so they very kindly brought me on to be a driver to deliver their goods to people in the community because they're just doing that well. And it's so exciting to see because they're a phenomenal family of people and provide an incredible business. And they have such dedicated customers in Kingston too. And the nice thing is a lot of the customers that I'll run into, they're actually people that I might know outside of that. So the Pike family very kindly hired me on to drive for them. And it's been pretty awesome. I got to say that, there's you meet all kinds of different people out there. I'm going to pause for a sec. James, your screen's off, right? Have I lost you?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I was trying to make it smooth where my headphone died.
It was not
made it worse.
It was nothing smooth.
I was trying to change it to speaker view so that you're like all good.
Yeah, no, it's like album cover or whatever comes up. It's like, yeah, you're gone. You're back now. So, and I know I'm talking.
If that ever happens, it's just I'm changing my headphone, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm talking to the folks out there anyway. But, there's all kinds of different clientele. I was trying to say that purchase stuff like this for their gardens, and you meet all kinds of different people, and lots of people are nice, and every so often though you run into. I mean, I haven't run into anybody that's not nice, but people are a little more uptight about their gardens maybe than others. And my first delivery was a few days ago, and this is the first time I've ever operated a dump truck full of stuff to dump into somebody's yard. So, I had a crash course. I was, briefed on all this stuff and how to make it work. I mean, and it's pretty transferable, James, in all honesty. Like there's a lot of crossover, and it's pretty tough to sometimes to drive around our 47-foot tour bus. This is a much smaller vehicle. It's a very small little dump truck. Anyway, I pull up to this house, really nice place. I mean, it's a schwanky place in a really nice neighborhood, and their gardens are absolutely immaculate, like perfect. And I pull up into the area where I throw on my hazards, jump out of the truck. Mind you, this is my first delivery ever doing anything in a dump truck. And they look at me, and, I just say, hey, everybody, hey, it was a husband and wife there. Hey, you guys, I'm here to drop off your delivery from Pykes. And they go, okay, well, there's a tarp here on the driveway. And it was a great big tarp. And they were like, so if you can put it right there on the tarp, that'd be great. I said, great. And they said, do you think you can get it right on the tarp? And I said, yeah, no problem. And they're like, okay. Like they're looking at me thinking, sizing this guy up, thinking this guy, I don't know what about this face inspires a lack of confidence, but for whatever reason, they thought, he's going to miss this tarp. So I said, no problem. I'll get that on the tarp for you. I jumped back in the truck thinking, well, I don't know. I hope I get this on the tarp. I sort of signed myself up really confidently. Back up. I kid you not. I put it right in that tarp, and there wasn't a speck of dirt on the driveway.
Wow.
This close to the edge of the tarp. And I think it was beginner's luck, call it what you want, but it was a perfect drop on this tarp. Okay.
Really?
It was perfect drop, not a speck of dirt on the driveway. Can't say that for all my deliveries, but this one, not a speck of dirt on the driveway.
Oh,
And most people don't care, but these folks seem to care. So I jump out and I said, well, there you go. Looks pretty good. And she kind of had a chuckle and she said, well, clearly you've done this like a ton of times before.
no.
And I looked at her, kid you not, I looked at her and I said to her, oh, it's my first time. And she laughed thinking I was being sarcastic. And I just left it at that.
Did you just leave it?
Left it at that. I just said, no, it's my first time. And then she went,
That's so funny.
I was like, yeah, anyway, see you guys.
I love that.
She thought I was being sarcastic. And I thought, you know what? I didn't lie to her.
Nope.
I straight up said it was my first time, but she just didn't believe it. So that was my first delivery. And then it was funny because I had a person to
That's tough for the first one too.
Oh, I know, pressure,
Wow.
right? But the good thing is it gave me confidence because the rest of the day I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, it's like if I did that, then this is fine.
And then today I had another person, in a similarly nice neighborhood, and they were up on a hill, and they had their house and a really nice car, and tucked back in was the tarp that they wanted me to dump on. And I mean, it was like a narrow little, and this is a pretty wide dump truck. Like it's a proper wide dump truck. And she said, all right, you can put it right here, right? It doesn't matter. She wasn't so uptight about whether or not it was right on the tarp. At least I thought. She just said, oh, the tarp's right here. Okay. So I backed up, and I mean, I'm just putting it right between, I don't have much clearance on either side, putting it right between the house and the car, back her up. And I dumped on the tarp and I got it pretty good. I mean, I think it was about this much over the edge of the tarp. And I get out and I looked at it and I kind of had a smile on my face, and she looked at me, she said, well, it's almost all on the tarp.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, well, I was trying to avoid your house. I thought that would be a worse situation.
Outcome. Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that'd be a little worse outcome. And she laughed. She said, oh yeah, for sure. She said, I thought you were going to hit the car. And I said, oh no, don't worry. I've done it once or twice.
Oh my gosh.
You've hit a car once or twice? I said, no, I haven't hit a car once or twice. I've backed it up once or twice. And then it was really awkward after that. And then I said, okay, bye. And then I left.
This sounds stressful, man.
So
I'm glad you're having
those are the two.
Yeah. But the other ones have been fun.
Most people are like, yeah, just throw her over there. That's good. And honestly, I'm having a blast. It's wonderful working with the Pykes. They're great people, as I've said.
They have a great business, yeah.
And they're a great, long-standing,
great family.
25 years, long-standing Kingston family business.
Wow.
I think it was 1996 or something when it looks like it was established in 96. And I think
that's incredible.
It was pretty cool. The other day that they set a record. It was they set a record for the most deliveries in all 25 years, and I got to be a part of that day. So that was awesome.
That must have felt pretty good, eh?
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was totally cool. It's such an honor to be a part of it. So anyway, thank you to the Pykes out there.
Oh, right on. Well, I had a disaster this week. I had a flood in my house. Yeah, but fortunately,
what are you talking about?
It was contained to the kitchen area. There's some stuff that I guess, just the buildup of stuff in the kitchen.
Wait, you have a basement though, so your kitchen flooded. How did that happen?
Yeah. So stuff got sort of built up in the kitchen pipes, I guess, and I had to. Eventually, I got a plumber to come in, and he was fantastic. He was an older gentleman who clearly knew what he was doing, and I'm so happy that he put in some good work, and yeah, I'm very thankful to him. But I actually have a picture of what happened. So we ended up having there was we would try to run the dishwasher, and then the sinks would like fill up with water, so clearly the pressure was like all off in the pipes.
No.
And so what ended up happening was we were trying to use Drano and different stuff to try to see if we could fix it ourselves. And eventually, it sort of just got bad enough that when we tried to run the dishwasher another time, like water started coming out of like the door swings up, right? Water started coming out of like the bottom
of the dishwasher
swing door. Yeah. Not of the bottom of the unit, but like the bottom of the door, because there's like a bit of a little gap there. So I have a picture of that.
Rough.
And let me just show you. But it's got, fortunately, it's a tight enough sort of tile floor we have. But look at this disaster. Pulling it up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is that soap? What kind of
foam
is that?
Yeah, so we were trying to wash the dishwasher with some like dishwasher cleaner, like it's a little tab.
Right.
And so that was that mixed with water, and it's just
so
like
brutal.
Yeah.
Did you just wash the floor with it or something? Like what did you do? How did you clean it up?
Oh, I had to like mop it up afterwards and stuff, and air out the room, because it was all just so potent of the smell and stuff.
Well, there's like a sludgy,
like a cleaning smell.
There's like a sludgy smell sometimes with those dishwashers that can be pretty rough.
Oh yeah.
Was it a pipe burst? Like
this was more cleaning. No, it just like clearly like the water couldn't escape through the drain of the dishwasher, and then it was too much pressure, and then it came out the front, you know.
So it's like when the toilet clogs or whatever, and it's just like it's got nowhere to go. That's basically the problem. But with the dishwasher.
Anyways, I had to open windows and
rough.
And get the smell out of there, in terms like the cleaning smell, and so that was kind of a disaster of my week. Yeah.
You know what, man? One thing when we were living together down at Lower Union, I in Kingston, I had encounters like that, had to deal with stuff like that, and had a couple plumbers on call, and man, you're in it now. You're doing the right
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing. So the guy that came, really, really good guy, but we could kind of tell because it took longer than I think he was anticipating. And his wife started calling, asking when he's going to be home for dinner. And he had 2 more calls after us. And like, he was so good. We wanted to get, his contact information, but we sort of got the vibe by the end that this was not a place where he wanted to come back.
This was not a pleasant experience for him.
So that was that, but he fixed it. And,
I mean, anytime a customer sows marital discord, it's probably not, you're not going to create a good relationship with your plumber.
Yeah. So was
let's hope
that was quite the week, quite the
what's
experience.
His name got home and everything was all sorted out.
Absolutely. So anyways, I thought I'd bring up I'd circle back to the plants here, John. I had dahlia. I put in a dahlia in
nice.
I put in you're not going to know any of these.
I know,
golden sphere tick seed.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
The tick seed, you know that?
I love those.
Fennel false spirea.
Okay, I don't think you're pronouncing that right.
White swan coneflower.
White swan coneflower. I like that. That sounds nice. I think it describes it more.
Ruby star coneflower. You just thought I'd get a couple coneflowers,
Yeah, everybody needs a good coneflower garden.
Oh, here's a real staple, a geranium.
Oh yeah. Well, I know what those are like.
And then I got everybody has a couple of these. Begonia Super Olympia White.
Nice.
So
I have seen some of these before. Sure. I just can't. It's like
I wanted to make sure.
It's like
I didn't come today after gardening in the sun and getting tired before this episode without knowing exactly what I put in my garden, like you last week.
But, for me, flowers are like people, right? I mean, for me, it's I'm good with faces. I'm not the best with names. And
that's a good analogy.
Well, I'll know the name, and I can't quite put the name to the face. I definitely know what a geranium is, and I know what I feel like I've seen a coneflower before, but I can't just put the face to the name. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, if anybody wasn't here in the beginning, I had mentioned that I was out in the sun for a little bit, but I haven't been out in the sun in a while because it's been cold here, and I forgot how much it just takes the energy right out of you. I used to spend a lot of time in the sun and in gardens and stuff.
Right.
I think I'm just getting too weak, man.
Did you wear sunscreen today?
No. Does it look like I didn't? I have like sunscreen.
I just wondered. Did you just
put on
like
daily.
turn the red tint down on your cam or something like yeah?
Why do I look awful? Do I look like?
No. I just mean you don't look like sunburned. You don't look.
Oh, okay.
I just wonder if you like dialed back the tint on your camera just to try.
You know, something I want to discuss with you is, do you know, Kate, do you have this issue where there's like a push, your emails push to your screen, like when you're watching stuff or whatever, it's like they pop up all the time that you can't turn it off?
No, I don't have that.
It's the worst.
Wait, do you get your emails in the like the messages app or whatever on your Mac computer, or do you just go on like Outlook or
messages? No messages, but it just pops up, and like I literally just exited and then it popped up again. It's terrible. It's like a
you
weird.
actually use the email messages app in your on your Apple?
Yeah, you don't?
No, I just go into the browser and go to hotmail.com. What?
Maybe people can tell us in the chat if they actually use
what do people
a mail application. No, it doesn't have to be with respect to like a Mac or PC or whatever. Do you use a mail application, or do you just go on the internet?
And I'm not talking about phones. Phones, I do go on my mail application. I'm talking about computers. Do you use your mail application on your computer, or you just click the browser, the Chrome, and just, I don't know.
Okay, let's check out the chat before.
I'm still rocking Hotmail. You're no better, James. James is rocking yahoo.ca.
Yeah, I'm a mess
for our emails. And
I didn't even change after there was a massive security breach.
No.
So I think
no, I'm worse. I actually have a Gmail account, and I actually have the forwarding between the two of them activated. So I actually get emails on both accounts, and I still use my Hotmail account.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's called unwillingness to change right there. That's like it's like getting on pushing 30 and suddenly you go,
yeah,
that's it. I'm not adapting anymore.
You know, that seems it's happening with me too. It's happening with me. Susie G says hello.
Nice.
We have Linda Robb saying, with that license, the C license, you would have been able to drive a police cruiser in Winnipeg. My son had to pass the test here as part of his qualifications for the job.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Good to
know. I like that
have...
Linda Robb, our former math teacher at LaSalle Secondary School, is saying that Hotmail is so old school.
Did she come in with that? It's mine's behind.
Linda, our former teacher, is saying Hotmail is old.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Are you lagging?
That's amazing.
That's funny.
No, I wasn't. I didn't read properly.
Linda is saying good choices. Oh, the cone flowers will bring the butterflies. That's nice. I didn't know that.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about flowers.
There you go.
That's Alex's the flower deal.
Nico says that is my birth year. I'm assuming back 94 maybe when you're talking about the
96. I was
or 96.
Nice.
You're talking about the Pykes
right. Yeah.
established date. And Amy is back this week. And
nice.
She said, sorry I'm late, no problem. Enjoyed your Big Church Day In set yesterday afternoon. We talked about it a little earlier. But thank you. We really appreciate it. We had a lot of fun doing that video and being a part of that event. It was really, really fun.
Awesome.
Linda Robb, she says that. Yeah. You're John, I like this. You helping me here. This is great. Is James changing career to gardener? Well, I've done some gardening in the past, and but no, nobody would want me as their gardener.
We did actually talk about. I think it was the last episode we talked about James's brief gardening career. So go check that out.
Yeah. Some of those are perennials, so they'll come up. Yes. So my future mother-in-law was
smart.
I mean, I have to be honest. It wasn't me choosing these. She is very experienced.
The truth comes out.
Yeah, so she set me up good. She set me up real good.
Also, Frederica, I should say, she says that she is doing What is she saying? She's laptop. I'm doing browser. Thank you. Thank you. Otherwise, my one email is app and the other is browser. So
That sounds more complicated than us.
Partial
What is
thank
that?
you on that.
Otherwise,
And,
my
yeah.
one email is app, and she has multiple emails. I see. Nico says, "Really miss you too." Appreciate that, Nico. Same for you, bud.
So James, are you? So your garden, like, how are you laying your garden out in the back?
I got to work on that one. Let's not bring that up.
Wait,
moving on.
I thought you planted them.
No, we did the front. I only did the front. And put some nice mulch. Put some mulch down, some black mulch. You know.
Oh yeah, nice.
You know.
That's a good choice. Very good taste.
Fresh dirt. You know. But we have to get to these pictures, John.
Okay. Because
we're
getting close. We've got 10 minutes.
We got some pictures here of new animals, and I'm gonna get on not our animals but our family animals out at the we have a rescue farm. In fact, if we haven't talked about this on the stream yet, our parents have a rescue farm with a lot of animals from different places, and it's a really beautiful thing. Our mom called it All Creatures Great and Small, and it kind of evolved out of when John and I moved out of the farm, and it was kind of near the end of when we were still living there. Right. The farm began to grow, and they had more and more animals that they were bringing onto the farm and rescuing. So anyways, they have some new animals that they brought onto the farm, and I thought over the years we've highlighted it. We were featured in the national, which is a program on CBC in Canada. We had some animals that we featured on that, and that was 10 years ago, which I just happened to see on YouTube. Anyways, so I thought that it would be cool if we did an update on our Instagram and stuff. So if you guys keep an eye on your Instagram, I'm going to be going out to the farm at some point this week, and I'll take some more footage of stuff, and definitely some footage of these new animals that they have. First of all, they got on Saturday a couple of donkeys, and it's unfortunately one of them is a little hard, not hard of hearing, but is not great. Doesn't have great eyes.
Partially blind?
I think it's either partially blind
or fully blind.
Fully blind, but
yeah, I think I saw that.
So I'll have to update people, but apparently it is doing pretty well, and it's learning, the space that it has, and so I will. But obviously that'll be interesting to see how it adapts to the new farm, and it'll be a lot. I definitely have lots of respect for our parents to to sort through all of that for sure. And then they got some piglets as well. So these guys, my mom sent a picture of these guys, and I'll take some pictures of the new donkeys. I'm sure they're just as cute as well. But I thought I'd pull up this picture, and then there's a little video, and the video kind of shows how small they are. It's insane. They're so tiny. I saw a chat from Linda. I think Linda might have seen them from Mom's Facebook. Let's pull up this picture here. And so it's a little hard to see, but they are super small, very, very cute.
Well, they're so young, and they're potbelly, so they'll live. I mean, they should live a long time. I mean,
yeah, they're sisters, so it's pretty hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Couple of sisters, little sisters, and we have a pig already, and our mom says that the older pig is very pleased to have some friends. So
I saw that video. So. He was just losing his mind. He was well. I mean, Mom was saying that he was excited. I mean, I couldn't tell from the video if he was excited or he was like, "What is going on?" He was like,
I'm not sure either, but she seemed to feel like he was. So
yeah, I mean, Mom is very positive. She's a positive thinker. Like, and it's all about love, and you know what? We need more of that in our world. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So
here's a little video of them.
They're so small. Look at that.
Let's wait till they move here.
They're actually smaller than I thought.
So cute. Oh my god.
They're so little.
So I'll get some more footage, and they definitely are bringing some joy to my week.
Oh my goodness.
hopefully they can bring some joy to some other folks here, and I'll get some more footage and keep you guys updated on that. And I'll show some footage of the donkeys, and it's a really beautiful rescue farm out there. And so very thankful that our parents have kept that going, and yeah, you'll have to get up to see them too, eh, Johnny?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, every time we go out there, it seems like there's a new addition. And I know, that's the thing is, for mom and dad, I think you were touching on it a little bit, James, that, it was right near the end of us living there at the farm and growing up, and we were a tight family unit, traveling together on the road and doing that sort of thing. And so for them, I think it was, particularly mom, is especially tough when we both moved out, or when I moved out and you were approaching moving out. And so this was definitely an empty nest thing in the beginning. And then it really just turned into its own project where they have taken on so many different generations of animals. Now we've seen even young ones grown up, and the next generation come in, and it's become this wonderful haven for a lot of animals who otherwise might have been euthanized or wouldn't have had good homes. And so we got to send out kudos to mom and dad for their awesomeness there, for sure.
Absolutely. And
I also want to, I just thought of this because I got to tell you, James, I wanted to send out another kudos this week before I forgot, because James and I, we both own together. We own an old 1972 Cheyenne 10 Super Chevrolet truck.
Yeah.
It's like a hot rod truck kind of thing. It's a muscle truck. It's got for any car lover people out there, it's in
our good old, or no, sorry. It's in, which music videos is it
Champion? I think the most recent one was
Champion.
Champion.
Check out Champion.
Yeah. There's a shot of us like leaning up against it in front of the crowd at the fair. And Champion, the Champion music video. So it's a Cheyenne 10 Super with a 350. I think it's got almost 400 horsepower in it. And I won't go into the details about all the fun stuff it's got on it, but it's a great old truck and in great shape. We try and keep it that way. James and I, we got it when we were teenagers. We were on the way down to a festival in Owensboro, Kentucky that we were playing, and we saw this there. We were going to restore an old truck of our great grandmother's that she took to market. She used to work at the Kingston market. She took this old 1969 Chevrolet into market every week, multiple times a week. We were going to sort of fix that up and do that, but we just did not have the facilities or the tools to do that. And I think this was a better avenue, was to get this. James and I saved up our money. We put in on this truck, and it was a pretty cool deal when we purchased it and drove it home from there. And just the other day I was driving it and suddenly the transmission was doing something crazy. I thought, oh no, the transmission's doing something crazy on the truck. This is no good. Like, this is going to be a big job. And it was doing this thing where it would rev right up and it wouldn't shift in the next gear. And then it suddenly would shift in the next gear and clunk. And then it would do that. There's 3 gears, right, in the thing. And so I took it over to Jim's Auto right behind our house here in Harrowsmith. We've got Jim's Auto. And Jim and his son Joe and a few other guys there. I haven't really got to meet them. It's awesome. We have an auto mechanic right behind our house, and I can drop off a vehicle.
That's incredible.
I can actually throw a stone. Not that I would, but I can throw a stone from my house and hit his roof. It's right behind us. Talk about convenience. So anyway, go over, drop the truck off at Jim today, and come home after driving for Pykes today. See the truck in our driveway. Because Jim is so awesome. He's right behind us and he will drive it home for me. I mean, it's right around the corner. And that's what he said. Awesome. He said, well, you're right around the corner. I don't do this.
That's small town, man.
Yeah, that's small town service. I got to say these guys are awesome. And Jim said, I said, what do I owe you, Jim? And he said, you know what? All I had to do was put a hose back on. It was just missing a hose on the regulator for the transmission. I think that's what he said.
Oh.
And he said, just throw me $20 sometime soon. And I had $20 on me. I never carry cash around really, but it happened.
You should take him a Dairy Queen one night, bro.
I know. Wait in line for Jim.
Our Dairy Queen.
So I have to say, you guys over there at Jim's Auto, You're awesome. I knew you by reputation ahead of time, but every time I take a vehicle to you guys, you are incredible with your service. And we just thank you so much for everything you do. So you know what? I love that. That is good service. That is a good mechanic. That is small town. And that's the kind of way we like to live.
That's
Right,
awesome. Let's catch up with the chat before we gotta head out here. 2 donkeys, because one was good friends with the blind donkey your mom said. That's from Linda Robb. That's right. That's the
Nice.
And then she also said, I'd like more details on the great escape they made. The piglets did get out of the first pen that they were in, and it was quite the story. I didn't feel like I was going to do the story justice, just because our dad was the one who really experienced that, and our mom was out
Okay,
there
well,
as
let's save that for
running
next
around.
week. Let's
I'll
note
get
that
some
down.
more
We'll save it next
intel
week.
on that. I'll get some intel. I think that maybe we could have mom as a guest next week, mom or dad or both or whatever.
That's a good
Which
idea.
would be, maybe we could get them on and she could
That'd
tell
be a
that
good idea.
story. Baby animals are always
Amy
so
says-
cute.
Amy
Noah's
says
Ark Abrams edition.
Noah's Ark Abrams edition, which is actually how it felt when they brought the first lot of animals in when we were still in high school, and mom and dad started this rescue farm. I was in my final year of high school, and they brought in a great big trailer full of all kinds of different animals. I mean, there were llamas and goats and sheep and horses, whatever. They were all in the same trailer because they're all pals apparently from this one farm that was, shutting down, or somebody was moving. I can't remember what the story was, but in any event, they all came in the same trailer. They backed in to the field, and literally the front panel drops down, and it was like like Noah's Ark. It was like all those old school kids' Bibles, with the perfect paintings in the middle of Noah's Ark, where they're all like majestically coming out of the ark, and the birds are flying off, and the goats and everything 2 by 2. That's what it was like. They were all just kind of like leaving this trailer together. That's how I remember it anyway. It might be slightly embellished, but
Nico says, thanks for being my dear friends. Absolutely, Nico.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much.
I love Champion, in response to us mentioning the Champion video.
Yes.
Linda says, have a good day. Yes, we're finishing up here. And she also said, I like that idea of having mom on. So hopefully we'll have that, and we'll check in with her and see if she's okay with that. We really appreciate you guys dropping in every week. And thank you guys. This has really been growing, and we're having a lot of fun with it. And it's great to chat with you guys. It's equally, as fulfilling for us to be able to sit here and communicate with you guys and have a chat and it feel like, we're with you, And so it's been really fun for me and I'm sure for John as well, eh?
Highlight of the week, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm loving
it's always
it.
good hanging with you.
So we're gonna keep it going and keep it growing. You like
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah, I saw what you did there. Episode 4, Off-Road with the Abrams. Thank you guys.
See you guys. Have a great next week.